What if I told you that the person who emerges on the other side of an empath's healing is so fundamentally different from who they were, that the people who knew them before will spend years trying to understand what happened? Stay with me, because what Carl Jung discovered about the final stage of psychological transformation will completely redefine everything you thought you knew about empaths, power, and what it truly means to become whole. Most people assume healing has a plateau, a comfortable destination, a point where the work stops and the peace begins. But Jung's research on individuation reveals something far more extraordinary and far more rare. The empath who has completed their healing doesn't arrive at peace, they arrive at precision. And that precision, Jung discovered, changes every single thing about how they move through the world. Carl Jung observed that the unhealed self operates from scarcity disguised as generosity. The wounded empath gives endlessly, not because they have abundance, but because they've been conditioned to believe their value lives in their usefulness to others. They are present to everyone because they are afraid of what it means to choose. But Jung's theory of individuation maps a precise moment when that pattern collapses under the weight of its own exhaustion. When an empath's healing is complete, something Jung called conscious selectivity emerges, not as a decision, but as a natural consequence of finally knowing their own worth. They stop being a resource that anyone can access at any hour for any reason. They become something rarer and infinitely more valuable. They become genuinely present, not the performed presence of someone trying to be enough, the full, unhurried cellular attention of someone who has chosen to be exactly where they are, with exactly who deserves it. Jung discovered that this quality, conscious, chosen presence, is among the rarest things one human being can offer another, and the healed empath offers it sparingly, carefully, and only where it will not be wasted. Here's what most people never understand about empaths until it's too late. According to Jung's research on psychological types, empaths possess what he called introverted feeling, an interior compass so finely calibrated that it registers incongruence, deception, and misalignment before the conscious mind has assembled the evidence. Before healing, this gift is buried under layers of self-doubt, people-pleasing, and the accumulated damage of being told repeatedly that their perceptions were wrong. But when the healing is complete, something irreversible happens. The self-doubt that muffled the signal disappears, and what remains is a clarity so acute it can feel, to those around them, like an almost supernatural ability to see through things. The healed empath knows when you're lying before you finish the sentence. They feel the gap between what you mean and what you say as a physical thing. A texture, a temperature, a shift in the quality of the air between you. Jung called this the activated intuitive function, perception that bypasses logic and arrives at truth through a mechanism that cannot be fully explained and absolutely cannot be fooled. They don't announce this, they don't weaponize it, they simply act on it. And that quiet, certain action in response to invisible information is what makes the fully healed empath one of the most formidable presences you will ever encounter. Carl Jung believed that the most profound human growth happens not around suffering but through it, not despite the descent into darkness, but because of what is found there. He called this the nekia, the night sea journey, the necessary passage through the underworld of the psyche. The empath who has completed their healing has made this journey in full. They have sat in the depths of their own wound and refused to look away. They have felt the full weight of every betrayal, every erasure, every moment they were made to feel too much, too sensitive, too difficult to love. And they have come back from that depth carrying something Jung considered among the most precious of all psychological developments, the capacity to hold darkness without being consumed by it. This is not toughness. Toughness is armor. What the healed empath develops is something far more sophisticated. It is the ability to remain open in the presence of pain, their own and others, without losing orientation, to feel the full force of a difficult truth and remain standing, to witness suffering, including their own past suffering, with compassion rather than collapse. Jung called this psychological resilience born from genuine integration, and it produces a quality of presence that people feel before they can name it. There is something in the healed empath that does not flinch, not because they have stopped feeling, but because feeling no longer threatens to destroy them. This is the part that surprises people most. They expect the healed empath to withdraw entirely, to become solitary, self-contained, a closed system. But Jung's research reveals something far more nuanced. The fully individuated empath doesn't abandon relationship. They revolutionize it. Where they once accepted crumbs, they now require substance. Where they once maintained connection through their own constant effort, they now observe with calm curiosity whether effort is mutual. Where they once interpreted someone's potential as a reason to stay, they now understand that potential is not a promise, and they refuse to build a life on the foundation of who someone might eventually become. Jung spoke of what he called the conscious relationship, a connection entered into with full awareness of both parties' psychological realities, free from projection, free from the unconscious scripts that drive most human interaction. The healed empath brings this consciousness into every connection they form. They see you clearly, not as you wish to be seen, not through the softening filter of their former naivety, but as you actually are in this moment, demonstrated by your actual choices, and they make their decisions accordingly, without cruelty, without drama, without the need to explain themselves to anyone who hasn't earned the explanation. Not dangerous in the way of someone who attacks. Jung was precise about this distinction. Dangerous in the way of someone who cannot be deceived, cannot be guilted into abandoning their own reality, cannot be worn down by persistence, charm, or the sophisticated manipulation of someone who mistakes their former softness for permanent availability. Jung identified what he called the individuated individual, someone who has so thoroughly integrated their light and their shadow that they operate from a place of psychological completeness that makes them, in essence, immune to the tactics that work on fragmented people. The healed empath has become this. They don't need your approval to trust their own perceptions. They don't need your validation to know what they witnessed. They don't need your version of events to overwrite their own direct experience. They have, in the language Jung used, claimed their interior authority. And once that authority is claimed fully, it cannot be argued away, guilted away, or gradually eroded by someone with the patience and the motive to try. Here is what Carl Jung understood that most people discover only in retrospect, only after they have lost someone they should have treasured. The completed healing of an empath is not the ending of a story. It is the beginning of one so different from what came before that the two chapters barely resemble the same life. What they become after the healing is complete, is not a softer version of their wounded self, nor a harder version, nor a more guarded one. What they become is what Jung called the individuated self, the person they were always, beneath every wound, beneath every adaptation, beneath every learned smallness, meant to be. They become someone who loves with full awareness of what love costs and chooses it anyway, but only where it is met. Someone who feels everything and is destroyed by nothing. Someone whose compassion is no longer a vulnerability, but a strength, deployed consciously, received only by those who understand its value. They become, in the end, what Carl Jung believed was the highest achievement of the human psychological journey. Not perfect, not invulnerable, not beyond pain. Complete. And complete, Jung discovered, is the one thing that cannot be taken from someone who has truly done the work of becoming it. The empath after healing is not who you lost. They are not who you broke. They are not even who they were before you met them. They are entirely, irreversibly, magnificently themselves. And that, according to everything Carl Jung spent a lifetime trying to understand about the human soul, is the most powerful thing a person can ever become.